The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, it doesn't matter who the host is.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Rated R Safety Show. Well, today's Friday, so this is coming to an end, meaning the week, of course. So hopefully you've been having a great time this week. And if you're lucky and blessed, you'll be off tomorrow and Sunday. As you are aware, we do not do the Rated R Safety Show over the weekends. Not that we don't have the opportunity of doing so. We just don't do it. So I have to tell you, we are now on episode 8. So hopefully you're coming back because you're enjoying it or you have discovered us for the first time. The funny part here is when we started the show originally, the whole conversation was about us talking about safety and people coming on to what I called ranting about what's going on in safety inside of organizations. Want to hear something funny? You want to laugh? You want to laugh? Here's the quickie. People are refusing still to come on to the Rated R Safety Show. They'll contact me and tell me about stories that they would like for me to talk about in regards to what's going on, but they do not want to rant. They don't want to rant because they're worried about getting caught ranting on the Rated R Safety Show. I'll tell you, we're still a new show. We're not even 2 weeks yet. We're barely a week. How are you going to get caught? I mean, you might get caught later on. But that's a whole other story. So, we are not going to have ranting on some episodes. This is the reality of the situation because I'm not going to sit here and make shit up about people ranting. So, here's what I've done. If you go to ratedarsafetyshow.com, that's ratedarsafetyshow.com. Once you get to the website, there's a nice little button right there. And that button says, I want to rant. Click on the button. It gives you the opportunity of actually putting in your information so you can come on to the Rated R Safety Show and rant. Rant away. Talk about what you want to say. And I'm telling you, we can do voice protection. What does that mean? We put different filters on your voice and change it up. That way people can't figure out who the hell you are, especially if that's what you're concerned about. So there's that. But it sounds like a lot of people are enjoying what we call the news. So, hey, I'm glad you're liking the news aspects of it. We're trying to keep it as realistic on the time frame of what exactly is going on in real time. Real time. So, let's get you started with the news right away here on the Rated R Safety Show.
Safety never sounded so terrible. Rated R Safety Show. Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM. Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
So I have told you in the past that we record these things live. And what does that mean? I'm not sitting here going, hey, we'll do it live. Forget it. We'll do it live. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we record these. They stream live on safetyfm.com and on safetyfm.live. So if you have that actually set up, you have the opportunity of taking a listen to it. Okay. So let's go on with some of the craziness that's going on out there in the world. So as you are aware, today is Friday, August the 9th. If you're not listening to this on Friday, August the 9th, then you're behind schedule because you're not following along with what we're doing. So anyways, Amazon has officially hit the streets in California. And what do I mean by that? I'm talking about the Amazon robots. Oh, yes. The first delivery robot named Scout is designed to cart parcels from warehouses to Amazon Prime customers without the need of vans or cars or even people. One thing Amazon isn't sure of yet is how the six-wheeled bot will be treated by their flesh and blood fellow citizens. So imagine that. You get to your house, or you're at your house, better saying, and ding dong, you have a robot waiting for you to deliver a package. How is that going to go for you the first time? Are you going to start thinking about the Terminator? Are you going to say, hey, is Arnold about to shoot me? I think tech is really good. But the problem we run into with technology is you have to train people in regards how do they adapt to it. The problem that you're going to run into there is people are not going to be accustomed to that right off the top. So I found this story. I thought it was kind of fantastic. Like, I'm going to tell you, I sleep like shit. What does that mean? I mean, I sleep anywhere between like 3 to 4 hours a day. Is that a good or a bad thing? I don't know. It's a matter of opinion. So take it for what it's worth. But you want to hear something interesting? A new study has found that optimistic people sleep better. The University of Illinois study followed 3,500 people, gauging their level of optimism and their sleep patterns, and found that for each one point increase in their optimism score, their chances of getting a better night's sleep went up by 78%. 78%. Man, I need to be more optimistic. How optimistic are you? Maybe you should be more optimistic. I want you to sleep better. It's a safety-related issue. Come on. Did you hear this one about the robot X-37B military spacecraft? This thing has been in orbit for 700 days. The spacecraft was first launched in 2017 and has been in space ever since. Nearly a record for the craft. The Air Force is tight-lipped about the plane's mission, but says, in general terms, it's testing new technology. What kind of technology is it testing? Hey, I'm not saying anything weird, so don't be putting me on some kind of weird list. But think about it. What is it doing? Why has it been in the air for, or in orbit for 700 days? So I know recently Quentin Tarantino has released a movie called Once Upon Hollywood. Now, matter of fact, that's a lie. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I guess some people are trying to capitalize off of that. You want to take a listen to this one? You're going to find this one interesting. This one's definitely not safety related, but I want to reference it anyways. Charles Manson's artwork is on display in Los Angeles from August 8th, so that was yesterday, to the 11th. The Lethal Amounts Gallery will display the work, which stretches from time of Manson's infamous 1969 killing spree to the art made while in prison. Some of it amounts to just scribbling and bizarre symbols. Now, I'm going to tell you, when it says the killing spree of Charles Manson, that might not be correct on the wording. Just want to say that. Now, if it said Manson's family, because that's what they referred to the cult was family, infamous killing spree, I might like that better. And I'm going to tell you, when we get these news stories, the news stories are fresh. Fresh. So, take a look at that. So I'm reading them live as we're doing them. Did you hear about the elderly man in Arlington, Virginia, who survived for 5 days on Coca-Cola alone after an immobilizing fall at his home? The Coca-Cola were within arm's reach after he fell and was unable to get up. The man was rescued by an attentive mail carrier. Now, I am glad that on the news stories, they use Coca-Cola. Because if it said the dude survived for 5 days on Coke, you might take that story as something entirely different. Yeah, the guy fell and he survived on Coke for 5 days. What would you be thinking then? So a few days ago, we were talking about climate change and things that are going on in that arena. So the United Nations says that part of solving the climate change crisis is for us to eat less meat. Oh, yes, vegans rejoice. Vegans rejoice on that messaging. The special reports prepared by the super elite panel of climate change experts said that plant-based diets are better for the environment, and eating more plants and less meat is a major opportunity to save the planet, imminent catastrophe, rising seas, and general Armageddon. And the funny part is that, when I was reading this at first, I thought I was going to have to give up my pickup truck. Okay, that's a lie. I don't really drive a pickup truck. I drive an electric car, but don't tell anyone. It made it sound better for the news story, of course. Now, this one's intriguing. A Louisiana woman told investigators that meth that was allegedly found in her vagina did not belong to her, according to authorities. What? Ashley Beth Rolland, 23, was arrested on suspicion of stealing money from her boyfriend, and upon booking into jail, the baggie of drugs was found inside of her. Rolland admitted to stealing the $5,000, but insisted that the drugs were not hers. I could take a whole different spin on going down with this one, but if somebody jams something inside of you that you're still carrying and it did not belong to you, number one, how did you not realize that it was there? And number two, I'm not going to say that word, but what the hell's going on? How did you not notice it was there? Anyways, let me talk about this other thing that happened earlier in the week. If you are not a Joe Rogan listener, and I'm talking about the Joe Rogan podcast, you should take the opportunity of listening to it. Now, I'm going to tell you that it is a podcast in long form, so if you have not listened to it, meaning that it can go from an hour to 3 hours to 4 hours, so just so you're aware. But this week, Bernie Sanders was on the Joe Rogan show, and he said that if he is elected president, he will reveal all government secrets about UFOs. Why did Sanders agree to this? Sanders said that given the renewed attention to the mysterious objects in the sky, his wife would force him to make all the top secret alien autopsies and external encounters public. And then this one's not a safety story per se, but I thought it was very interesting. Small town in Iowa had a parade, and it was subject to a controversy after one of the floats depicted Hillary Clinton in a jail cell in an orange jumpsuit. The jail cell was pulled by an ATV. The parade goers were given water balloons to throw at the crooked H lookalike inside. Local Dems called it inappropriate, while local Republicans said it wasn't their float, but they didn't think that it was that big of a deal. Talk about stirring up some controversial shit, huh? And I know that's not safety, but I just thought that was kind of weird to see that in the news stories as we were digging around today. And I don't know, I'm going to start adding this in, I think, for the time being, but matter of fact, I won't do it all the time. I'm just going to tell it to you today because I thought it was really interesting. So as you were aware, there are some weird days that come up that are celebrated throughout the year, and some weird days that it seems like every day has something to be tied into. So here's the days of the year on what could be celebrated today. Are you ready for this one? Melon Day, Book Lovers Day, Rice Pudding Day, National Hand-Holding Day, and National Polka Day. How the hell did we get all these things in one day? And if it's National Hand-Holding Day, why don't you go out there and try to hold someone's hand that you don't know? Okay, that's just me being a jackass there. Anyways, you're listening to the Rated R Safety Show. You know who I am. I know who you are. And until Monday, see you then. Love you, mean it. Bye.
This show is almost as enjoyable as hearing the sound of the toilet flush. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.